Hello, and welcome back to This Week in the NCAC. I'm your host, Brett Billhart. On today's show, we will look back at all the NCAC action for the week ending on September 11th. We'll start today's show with an in-depth look at action from across the gridiron on Saturday. There were 3 league contests decided this week, including Hiram defeating Kenyon 16-13, Wabash sliding past Worcester 19-7, and Wittenberg upending Ohio Wesleyan 34-13. Hiram secured its 3-point conference victory on an interception in the final seconds by junior defensive lineman Jared Lewis. Lewis garnered NCAC Defensive Player of the Week accolades for his timely interception in the game's final seconds. The Terriers were led offensively by freshman wide receiver Jeff Schofield, who hauled in 10 catches for 104 yards. Wabash kicked off its 125th season of football with a 19-7 triumph over Worcester. The victory pushed the Little Giants' all-time record in season openers to 74, 43, and 8. Senior wide receiver Jonathan Horn collected NCAC Offensive Player of the Week recognition after hauling in 8 catches for 134 yards, including the go-ahead score on a 4-yard touchdown reception in the third quarter. The 100-plus yard performance marked the 8th time in Horn's career that he accomplished the feat. Wittenberg extended its regular season win streak to 22 straight with a 34-13 win over Ohio Wesleyan under the lights at Selby Stadium. Senior receiver Michael Cooper paced the Tigers' offensive attack by pulling down 7 receptions for 157 yards and 1 touchdown. OWU's aerial unit was out in full force throughout the evening as sophomore quarterback Mason Espinosa uncorked 58 pass attempts, completing 28 for 258 yards and 1 score. The 58 pass attempts marks the 3rd highest single-game total in Bishop's history, while the 28 completions are tied for 4th on the school's all-time list. NCAC tilts continue this weekend as Wabash hosts Ohio Wesleyan and Hiram travels to Denison. Now let's take a look at some field hockey action. In its first ever NCAC contest, DePaul came away with a 2-0 victory over Kenyon. Also securing league victories last week were Kenyon, Wittenberg, and Worcester. Wittenberg needed regulation, 2 overtime periods, and 2 penalty stroke rounds to defeat Earlham 1-0. Tiger goalkeeper Jenny Shafsma came up big in the extra sessions for Witt as she stopped 3 out of 5 penalty stroke attempts launched at her by Quaker strikers. In addition, Earlham junior keeper Emma Treese was also impressive in the cages for the Quakers as she finished the contest with 19 saves. Kenyon was led to a 3-1 victory over Oberlin by sophomore Stephanie Ladman, who netted the game winner for the ladies early in the second half. Worcester edged out NCAC foe Ohio Wesleyan 1-0 in overtime in both squads' conference opener. Junior Claire Nelson-Johnson gave the Fighting Scots a victory after firing in the game winner with 2 minutes left in the overtime period. Junior goalie Liz Plumley made 6 saves in 83 minutes of action to earn her 2nd career shutout. NCAC Player of the Week honors went to Denison freshman Courtney Testani, who scored her first career goal in the 53rd minute to break a 1-1 tie and lead the Big Red to a 2-1 victory over Brockport State. The score not only marked Testani's first career goal, but it was also converted on her first career shot attempt. The win elevated Denison to a 3-0 start for the first time since the 2003 season. 5 NCAC matchups are on tap for the coming week. On Tuesday, Earlham hosts DePaul. On Wednesday, Denison hosts Oberlin. And on Thursday, Worcester entertains Kenyon. Saturday tilts include Oberlin traveling to Earlham and Wittenberg hosting Ohio Wesleyan. Next, we will turn our attention to the soccer pitch, where NCAC squads continued non-conference competition last week. The Allegheny men have continued their rapid start to the 2011 season, improving to 5-0 overall with 3 victories last week as the Gators defeated Grove City 5-2, Heidelberg 2-1 in overtime, and Wilmington 1-0. The triumph over Grove City marked the 100th victory in the 11-year career of head coach Angelo Panzetta. In addition, junior midfielder David Del Greco was named the NCAC Player of the Week after netting 3 goals. The junior from Pittsburgh registered a 2-goal effort against the Wolverines and capped off the week by scoring the game winner in overtime against Heidelberg. Ohio Wesleyan and DePaul also picked up a pair of victories last week. The Tigers took down Hanover 3-1 and Earlham 2-1. OWU went 2-0 at the Adidas Invitational in Delaware after defeating Wheaton 3-1 and Carnegie Mellon 7-0. Two-time All-NCAC first-team performer Travis Wall led the Battling Bishops on the weekend with 3 goals and 2 assists. On the women's side, Allegheny, Oberlin, Ohio Wesleyan, and Worcester each registered a pair of victories. Ohio Wesleyan's victories were the first 2 of the season as the Battling Bishop opened the week with a 2-0 shutout over Mount St. Joseph and followed that performance with a 3-1 triumph over Washington and Jefferson. Senior forward Mackenzie Kresbach earned NCAC Player of the Week laurels after assisting on the game-winning goal against MSJ and accounting for all 3 goals in the victory over W&J. It was Kresbach's first career hat trick. Worcester improved to 3-2 on the young season after earning a pair of 3-1 victories over Marietta and Bethany. Senior defender Bree Fulmer bolstered the Fighting Scots defensive unit that allowed just 13 total shots on the week. Fulmer also made her presence felt on the offensive side of the ball as she assisted on 3 of the Scots' 6 goals. NCAC teams will continue non-conference competition in the coming week, with the league schedule set to kick off on Saturday afternoon in Granville, as Denison will host DePaul for a men's and women's doubleheader. It was a busy weekend on the links in the NCAC as 6 men's teams and 3 women's teams were all in action. The women's squads traveled to Mill Creek Golf Club for the Ohio Wesleyan Invitational on Saturday. Denison captured the team title with a score of 375, edging Ohio Wesleyan by 4 shots. Urbana was third with 380 strokes, while Worcester placed 4th with a 389. Denison freshman Amanda Castle was the individual medalist at the event with an 86, while OWU freshman Courtney Tincher tied for 2nd place with an 87. Tincher was named the NCAC Golfer of the Week after carding the best single 18-hole round by a Battling Bishops women's golfer since the inception of the program last season. NCAC men's squads took advantage of ideal scoring conditions over the weekend at the Denison Fall Classic at the Granville Golf Course. Wittenberg took home the team trophy with a 2-day total of 567 after carding an opening round 284 and a final round 283. The Tigers' 36-hole score of 567 shattered the previous school record of 585, which was last set last spring in the final 2 rounds of the NCAA Division III Championships. In addition, Witt's final round tally of 283 surpassed the old 18-hole round school record by 2 strokes. Denison placed 2nd at its own event with a 2-day total of 585, while DePaul placed 4th with 600 strokes. Worcester finished in 5th with a 603, and Kenyon rounded out the field in 9th place with a 685. The Big Red also surpassed a pair of school records, as its final round tally of 287 was 1 stroke better than the previous 18-hole mark, and the 2-day total of 585 sets the DU 36-hole round scoring record. Individually, Wittenberg senior Jordan Millis took home individual medalist honors with a 2-day score of 140, which is the 4th best 36-hole round in program history. He opened the tournament with a 3-under par 68 and posted a 1/72 in the final round to capture the title. Denison was led by sophomore Aaron Klimchuk, who fired a 2-day total of 141 to tie for 2nd place, while Worcester senior Michael Peters led the Fighting Scots with a 5th place showing and 143 strokes. DePaul was led by Ryan Bearer, who finished in 9th place with a 145. Ohio Wesleyan also kicked off its season this past weekend as the Battling Bishops finished 6 out of 15 teams at the Transylvania Fall Invitational, played at the University of Kentucky's Wildcat Course in Lexington. Ohio Wesleyan's junior Jerry Moore led the Battling Bishops with a 2-over par score of 144 to finish 6th individually. Women's action continues this week as Allegheny and DePaul are finishing up competition at the O'Brien National Invitational in Notre Dame, Indiana this afternoon, while Hiram will travel to the Worcester Invitational on Saturday. DePaul and Wittenberg will compete at the Illinois Wesleyan Fall Classic on Saturday and Sunday, and Hiram, Ohio Wesleyan, and Worcester will travel to the Denison Invitational at Granville Golf Course on Sunday. On the men's side, Wabash competes at the Anderson Invitational on Saturday and Sunday, while Denison, DePaul, Oberlin, Ohio Wesleyan, Wittenberg, and Worcester will travel to Allegheny's Guy W. Kuhn Invitational at Meadville Country Club on Sunday and Monday. Transitioning on to volleyball, Hiram and Wittenberg both went undefeated in tournament play last week. Worcester also was impressive as the Fighting Scots improved to 7-1 in the season after going 3-1 at the Marcia French Invitational, hosted by Baldwin Wallace and Case Western. The Terriers went 4-0 at the Penn State Barron Tournament, defeating St. Vincent, Penn State Barron, Marietta, and DeUville. Senior Shayna Bryan was named to the All-Tournament team, while senior setter Taylor Summerfield was named Tournament MVP. The Fighting Scots blanked Buffalo State 3-0 in the opening match of the Marcia French Invitational on Friday, but were upended by Otterbein 3-0 in the nightcap. The Scots then turned in a strong effort on Saturday as they opened play with a 3-0 victory over Carnegie Mellon and took down tournament host Baldwin Wallace 3-1. Worcester senior setter Lizzie Beal, who was selected to the All-Tournament team, is this week's NCAC Player of the Week recipient after registering 15 kills and 12 digs against Buffalo State, 22 assists and 10 digs against CMU, and a 23-dig effort in the 4-set victory over BW. This weekend's schedule is again loaded with tournament competition, with 4 events being held on NCAC campuses, including the Allegheny Gator Invitational, the Hiram Invitational, the Great Lakes Regional Challenge at Wittenberg, and the DePaul Tiger Invitational. In addition, Kenyon will compete at the Center Invite, while Denison, Oberlin, Ohio Wesleyan, and Worcester each have single-duel matches slated for this week. We will close out this week's show by taking a look at last weekend's cross-country action. 6 NCAC squads participated at the GLCA Championship hosted by Ohio Wesleyan on Saturday. Oberlin was the top NCAC men's team finisher at the event in second place with 74 points, followed by Denison in third with 85, Ohio Wesleyan in fourth with 90, Worcester in fifth with 111, and Kenyon in sixth with 134. Albion captured the team title at the event with 36 total points, while Kalamazoo rounded out the field in seventh with 194. Denison senior D. Sal Ucumbo won his 4th consecutive GLCA individual title in a time of 26 minutes and 1 second over the 8K course. He topped the 101 runner field by 29 seconds. Oberlin was led in the race by senior Stephen Williams, who was crowned the NCAC Runner of the Week after placing 17th overall with a time of 27 minutes, 3 seconds. Hiram's men were also in action last week as the Terriers finished 4th at the Walsh Invitational. On the women's side, Oberlin captured the team title at the GLCA Championship with 32 points, with Worcester finishing 3rd with 76, Denison 4th with 105, Kenyon 5th with 114, and Ohio Wesleyan 6th with 123 points. Oberlin sophomore Molly Martorella was the NCAC's top finisher at the event, placing 2nd in the 5K race in a time of 18 minutes, 54 seconds. NCAC Runner of the Week accolades went to Worcester junior Colleen O'Neill, who crossed the finish line in 4th place with a time of 19 minutes and 20 seconds. Additionally, it was the first time in O'Neill's career that she paced the Fighting Scots at an event. 5 NCAC teams will compete at the Wittenberg Invitational on Saturday, which also serves as the NCAC championship meet on the course of the 2011 NCAC Cross Country Championships. Joining Wittenberg on its home track will be Denison, Kenyon, Ohio Wesleyan, and Worcester. In addition, DePaul and Wabash will run at the Indiana Intercollegiates at Indiana University on Friday in Bloomington, while Allegheny is at the Calvin Knight Invitational and Hiram is at the Penn State Barron Invite on Saturday. We thank you again for tuning in, and we look forward to continually keeping you up to date on the most current NCAC highlights on our weekly installments of This Week in the NCAC. As always, for up-to-date news, standings, and statistics on your favorite NCAC squads, you can visit our website at www.northcoast.org.